My name is Eliminhele. I am the head of product at Kora. I participated in the just concluded Money 2020 RiseUp program, Europe. I would say the entire experience was interesting and an exciting one. First of all, there was a build-up of the anticipation of the program. We all had an introductory call. That is myself and the rest of the cohort members. We had a WhatsApp group that were already communicating. Some of us had already planned to meet each other prior to the event. So there was this build-up of excitement, seeing people that's working in companies that you basically just read off or you just hear about, and seeing them representing those companies was really humbling. It's a wonderful experience and I would 100% recommend it. I applied for Money 2020 RiseUp. It was actually by chance, funny enough. I had a plan to attend a leadership program at the beginning of the year, and I wasn't even sure any, but I knew that I wanted to attend one, and I also wanted to attend a conference in general just to learn more about Fintech, about payments in a different region. So I had a list of conferences that I was going to check out, and that particular time, I just decided to check Money 2020, and I saw the program. For me, what it represents, that's RiseUp, what it represents, it's basically for female leaders in the fintech space, and I just felt like this is something that I resonate with. The sister program, which is Amplify, is for leaders that are people of color, and I did apply for the both of them, but I resonated more with RiseUp because it's for female leaders. And going over and researching over the other events that they've done or the other programs they've done over the years, I felt like this is something that would be good for me. I did say I knew about Money 2018 prior. Some of my colleagues already attend the event in itself. Kora actually attends the event in itself. However, finding out about RiseUp was just me browsing the website and seeing it. Besides the fact that it was just another way to find out more about fintech, it had the whole mentorship program that you are paired with a mentor for a whole year. And I can say that my mentor and I have like a very good relationship. We still spoke just last month, and he's still grooming me to become a better leader in my field. I would say that such opportunities are out there actually, and it just depends on you to decide on what you want, and you basically just find it. I would say what stood out to me was the obvious. I was the only Nigerian from Nigeria there. So it was just very interesting to see. There were other Nigerians there, by the way, but I was the only one coming from Nigeria. I would say one of the biggest lessons I have learned throughout that entire period is just the fact that it's possible. Like, what you want to do is possible, especially career-wise, right? I was in a room filled with people from companies that you're just reading about or you're just researching about or you just see online. And it was just very impressive and very humbling to be in that space. I mean, you can go to conferences and of course these people are there, but you don't have like one-on-one connection with them. You don't even get to talk to most of them. But I was literally in a room filled with these people, and we're talking and we're sharing ideas, and I was speaking about things going on in Africa, talking about the payment space in Nigeria, and for them they found it very interesting because most people do not even know what's going on here. That's the interesting part. And for me, it just made me realize that there's really a huge gap to fill in terms of connecting Africans to the global market. And that's where companies like Kora, for me, it just felt like we're doing very important work. I knew that, of course, we're doing very important work here at Kora and even in Nigeria as a whole, but it just put a lot of things into perspective when you're telling the story and people are like, really? Is this how you guys do payments here? We didn't even know about this. I was just speaking to somebody about the same thing, one of the cohort members, I think last month, where I was explaining that, oh, we use bank transfers and all of that. And she was like, huh? She doesn't even know that that's something that we typically use here. So a lot of people finding out what we do at Kora and how the payment space is in Nigeria was just very, very interesting to see their reaction, to see how they were embracing it actually. Yeah, so for my conversation with a lot of my cohort members and other people I met at the event, there was a lot of positive feedback in terms of wanting to embrace Africa and provide payment services and form a partnership with African businesses, right? So I would say even if there's a lot to be done, right, we are already on the right path. As I said, I've been to Europe before, but then I didn't have this much payments issues. Then I would just maybe take my virtual card or take cash and then make my payments there. But surprisingly, getting to Amsterdam, everything was like cashless. So if you didn't have a physical card, you had to have a way to connect your card to like Apple Pay. Now as a Nigerian, I've never used Apple Pay in Nigeria. We don't even use it like to pay physical payments, right? So, and that was something that was very predominant there. And it sort of posed a challenge for me the first couple of days because there was no way for me to connect my card to my Apple wallet. So for me, that was very interesting to see because you wouldn't experience that you wouldn't even know that payment method exists in Nigeria, right? That's the whole Apple Pay payment, right? Except you actually travel and you get to use it. So I would say that's something that is very different, and for me, it just shows how more advanced this the Europe is compared to Africa, right? And for me, that also pushed me to then figure out more or research more on how can we facilitate this kind of payments for Africans. Now, of course, we may not use that, or that may not be a predominant payment method in Nigeria, but there are Africans that travel abroad like almost every other day, right? How can we easily make payments there, right? Because it felt like I had money, but I couldn't spend it. It didn't just add up to me. I then started speaking to some banks, some issuing partners at the event, and it was painful to realize that a lot of them didn't want to do business with Africans. I know I had said that there was positive feedback, yes, in some areas, but when it comes to like cards, bank accounts, there was like a drawback, or there was like this thought that, oh, we don't want to do with Africans, or we're not ready to do with Africans, and it was just very painful to see because they were very open to have the conversation, but then when you tell them about what you want to do, and they're like, no, we can't offer to Africans. I'm like, we're the ones we have this challenge. Like, I'm literally telling you the story of my experience throughout this trip, and it was just very painful to see. And again, this is the reason why I appreciate companies like Kora that are making this effort to ensure that we can easily make payments there. I do think that we still have a lot to do, but one step at a time, we are connecting Africans to the global market.